In the twilight of October 15th, 2015, a small NFC militia, led by the mysterious Sherriff X, annihilated Mountain Well Outpost, a CPS base, was burned to the ground so that X and his man could scour the depths of Paradise Gorge for the elusive Dr. Halmner, a reclusive scientist who, according to rumor, had discovered a way across the perilous oceans of the world. The following morning, a CPS company operating under the recently promoted Major Dysua Vaepho followed them in. Before sundown, the CPS company left the gorge, with Dr. Halmner following warily behind them. The NFC were not so lucky. The militia was miles deeper in the gorge. Despite finding numerous clues that Halmner had left behind, the brave but foolish X pushed ever deeper into the gorge. Soon the militia was unable to find their way out, and that is when the trouble began. Faith began to wane in the face of X's decisions as of late, and the gorge's strange madness took its hold on more than a few of the militia. Before the sun set on their second day in the gorge, X's militia turned in on itself, and brothers in arms began to rip into each other's flesh. X and many of his militia were dead before sunrise. Those still clinging desperately to sanity were the only ones to survive. A few days later, the CPS company entered the city of Albergrath, and Halmner was immediately arrested. The company was furious, having bonded with the doctor during the trip, and Major Vaepho went straight to the city's Lieutenant Colonel, Bradley Scott, and demanded an explanation. Scott explained that Halmner was not a citizen of the CPS, and so would be treated as a prisoner of war. He reprimanded Vaepho for treating the scientist as anything else, as it was considered insulting to the soldiers who worked their entire lives to gain the privileges of CPS citizens. But Vaepho would hear none of it, and called Scott's leadership into question. Furious, Vaepho challenged the Lieutenant Colonel to a duel. Scott accepted, as he was honor-bound to do. Later that night, Vaepho visited Halmner in Albergrath's dark dungeon and explained the situation to him, promising that he would be free as soon as Scott's senile head rolled at his feet. Vaepho then asked Halmner about his creation and if he would be willing to share its secrets with the CPS. Halmner told him it mattered little, as the creation he was seeking was currently locked behind the blast doors of a military bunker in Paradise Gorge. Halmner explained that the only way to enter the bunker was the simultaneous use of a pair of keys. One key Halmner had on him, but the other was somewhere on a dead body at Shattered Creek. Unfortunately, tradition forbade Vaepho from leaving the city until his duel with Scott. This meant promoting his captain and sending him in his stead. Polonius was made major and went off to Fort Dragon in search of the corpse. Weeks passed as the company raked the land for the body. The resident Major Dragon proved little help, as he was constantly sealed away in his labs, his attention consumed entirely by experiments the company wanted nothing to do with. The company was about to finally give up when Captain Jack London spotted something caught on a dead branch in the creek itself. A tattered white coat, not unlike the one Halmner had been wearing when he first met the captain. London waded in at a full sprint and found the key in the breast pocket. It was around this time that Huevo Ranchero and the few other survivors of the NFC militia were crawling out of Paradise Gorge. About to collapse from dehydration, starvation, and all but broken will, Huevo was astonished to find a hand reaching down to him. He looked up and saw the gas mask of an alien militiaman. Behind was this sheriff, an enigmatic man known throughout the NFC as Prophet. Huevo smiled a strained hello to both. With the key finally in hand, Polonius' company company left for Albagrath in earnest, their thoughts on Vaepho and their prayers for his victory. Their thoughts were so consumed by their ex-major that no one in the company noticed the sign they passed, proclaiming to all that they now walked the roads of Prophet's Mountain. But the company knew where they were when they began their descent of the peak and saw the convoy of NFC caravans moving across the road. Prophet and the survivors of the gorge looked up at them with a kind of bloodlust save for beasts, not men. It was then that all the CPS became painfully aware that it was a very long way down.